changes, because I'm mainly looking at the mate side and what they're going to be bringing in. It's that Neon matchup, and that was another thing that we were talking about, whether or not that Neon was just going to be a direct counter for that Fnatic game they played last time. Well, it seems like both teams are confident on it, CNED. Are you happy with a Neon on Fracture?
To be honest, Neon right now, after the nerfs and after this Teho like being meta, like I think Neon is not my first choice, to be honest, in the Sun maps, because...
Who is?
Sorry?
Who is your first choice?
Nah, I don't want to say Jet.
But I will.
But I will. I think Jet Ray is, I think front of the Neon, because of this Teho is nading and you can't follow the Neon easily in this map, so it wouldn't be my first choice, but I think both teams make a Neon choice.
10.5% attack win rate, by the way. I think that's the lowest I've ever seen a team have that's actually played the rounds.
Please, let them be for a second. Well, actually, let's see if they can improve that, because in fact, they will be starting on the attack. Hazakaira, do you think they have it in them?
That's the question that we want to ask, of course. That's a very, fence-sitting answer from me, of course.
Cheers, mate.
But the expectations for FUT coming into this is that they have not missed a international event, a second international event of the year since partnerships began. Shanghai, their most recent performance, that was the highest that they've ever pitched at one of those. So now you're wondering, was that 2-0 against Koi maybe inflated a little bit by the fact that they haven't been performing so well? Can we get excited? Can we get hyped about FUT? I think they can turn it around.
I think they can turn that around, but on the other hand, is Gentlemates just that much better with the addition of Kamek and Mini taking that IGL role?
Let's see. Zeus has been ever consistent, regardless of all the change around him. He has gelled perfectly into this FUT piece, but as it starts, it's not going to go too well. It continues, in fact, from the previous. Another pistol round looking to head towards Gentlemates. Mr. Fallen finally in the middle of things, gets one back. As mates are running through spawn, and Krax has cottoned onto this.
He's heard everything, and he's calling towards the lone site anchor on towards B. Kata Captain at the same time is exploring A main all the way through in towards attacker spawn.
How diligent do you go? Is it just going to be a freebie? Yeah, it is. Zipan with one kill, but in the meantime, fight's going on towards Gen. Forwards goes Click. He's going to drop. Now looking at the position, Zipan is so far out of play. He'll just be looking to try and use those salvos late, but not too much time already bought here. It's a true 1v1.
Got to look at the position of the spike plant as well. It's not anywhere near for Zipan. They've already got the salvos out in Cracks now. Oh, just needs to wait on the peak. It comes through, and it's a 4K for Cracks.
Another quad kill, full of impact from one of FUT's longest standing players. And it's the kind of response that you really needed after Gentlemates getting away with so many of these pistols, having good prep coming into it. In terms of the post plant, I like the idea to fight towards spawn side, but it's just very, very staggered.
Yeah, it's really... I mean, like, the round itself is so topsy-turvy. You're thinking to yourself, like, as the rotate's coming through, like, it should be a Gentlemates round, but they hadn't identified the player in towards towers, etc. It's just very well played all round.
I think out of the spawn plants we've seen so far, Na'Vi tried it as well. I can't remember one that has gone well because of the plant. It's always been something else that has happened to offset it a little bit. Mini spotted as the Cypher main, and with the flashing util coming in, you expect the second piece.
Cracks just going for more. He's actually got two. Needs to be careful, the player coming up rope. At the same time though, Kamek's there to peek off it. This is really nice. A 3K in total, but a bulldog recollected. This is something to work with.
Now 2v3, and both of those players are split up for FUT. They've got to try and find a way to get everything back together.
It's that recollection of the spike though. Meanwhile, FUT have cleared all the way through spawn and have a good idea of the picture.
Gentlemates still hanging around towards B.
Oh, they're re-clearing through bottom. Zeus has to be big here.
Right into him. The cam doesn't clear. Zeus has perfectly positioned himself as to not be caught by this, and so it's a lineup of players straight to the chopping block. Zeus with 2 kills that put FUT 2 rounds up.
Yeah, you just see the intelligence of the duelist. At the same time, that arcade push, the arcade fight, a little bit dangerous. You're starting to see the ideas, what was coming through.
This is just brilliant work from Cracks to clean up solo. You feel as if Gentlemate needed to do a little bit more to catch him there, put a bit more pressure on. He's 7-1 right now inside those first 2 rounds. With the full purchase coming in, yeah, they're up against the null command early.
Yeah, you're looking at where the stun's going though. That's towards top tower in A. A nice combination coming through with the utility. Mr. Fallen, not long for this world.
Served up from the strat book and executed perfectly. Once again, Gentlemates finding themselves in link towards spawn with rotations heading their way.
Just now up against plenty of players, and Kamek, the one to capitalise. At the same time, FUT proactive, going and taking A main space. Gentlemates clearly pivot, go towards B, and they've even got enough time to try and allocate the spike to get extra orbs. Well, in this case, it will be the Rolling Thunder for Kamek.
It's the perfect situation to set up the post plant exactly as you would like, cater to your strengths. 3 players in main, early contact from Mini, and the rest right behind. Mate following the torch that he has held in front. Leading by example once again, as soon as Click gets the slightest scent of blood, he is right there and ready for it. Any more birthday gifts, perhaps?
Aye, that's what you're looking for, right?
Turning up to his birthday party on his birthday with a birthday gift? Not gonna get it. It's Mini instead. But Gentlemates are on the board.
You're a year younger than me, and sometimes like you feel like decades younger, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god. Very nice set play coming through with the utility. They identified the breach player, Mr. Fallen, who'd been playing there a few times. And yeah, Kamek, just spot on.
Like, where do you go? Where do you go with a play like that? And the answer for Gentlemates being, of course, you go through spawn if you're them. And I think it's another situation when they get towards B and it looks good, and we're not going to see the same again. I mean, Mr. Fallen is there. This would be a bit disgusting, wouldn't it? Oh, where's he off to this time? He's lived it. He has lived it. Fair play. Wouldn't want to make that mistake twice.
Hey, listen, seen it happen before. Click this time. Look at this. They're getting the space towards CT. Zusto catch it in transition. Kada and Mr. Fallen making sure to make good of the trade. Advantage towards FUT.
Just trying to clear out this area here. Pest control, making sure that nobody has managed to slip the net and get towards spawn. Quite laissez-faire. Lax allowing the French organisation to get the plant in on A.
Go ahead.
Very close. Yeah. Oh, Armageddon being used to try and tee up Mini. It doesn't work out. Now the 2 players stuck on site have to hold up against 4 players of FUT. The first one got, the second, the third, make it 4! Gentlemates able to break the bye of FUT.
Absolutely decimating them. Kamek in full control yet again. Joining this squad, he feels as if it's been night and day from those days that he spent on the Liquid team. Finally seeing the other side of things, the sunny side of things.
As well, though, frustrating round for FUT, right? You're in a 4 versus 2, coming back in, and you gift 1 versus 1s to the 2 remaining players. Massive stuff.
And having already sought his revenge in the previous matchup, the tear continues. FUT on the receiving end so far. And in this round, what are your objectives? Collecting orbs, creating a problem point for Gentlemates perhaps towards bridge on the top side of the map. They've cleared it out. Gentlemates were actually looking to try and re-clear that space themselves through the underpass. Instead, it is Click solo B.
Tracks.
Huge fight.
Has to be won cleanly. Cracks needs to hit headshot.
Double stun.
This is very nicely done. Oh,
Kamek again.
Yeah, he looks almost good enough to try and get that double. Zeus, though, certainly looks good enough himself. That's a player you can rely upon. Rolling Thunder isn't going to work out. Mr. Fallen's classic is. This is winnable.
Kamek has now died with the aftershock as well, and while the incendiary flies through the skies, it's not quite landed just yet, and only just now starting to stop the defuse. Actually, I don't think it had landed correctly, but it doesn't matter. Mini's found 2 kills, needs a 3rd to make it a 3rd.
Has the cam for contact. Spike hadn't been half, has to jump because of the cam's positioning. Needs to win out. Still, Mr. Fallen trying to bait out, using the stun to at least get half, but just peeks out and wins it instead. A round that shouldn't have been that close, but still at the end of the day, it's won by mates.
They get there. Over the line, Mini to take them once more. Kamik doing brilliant work in tower. Up against, you know, a set of Sheriff's pistols just to try and be problematic. The fact that the Rolling Thunder is absent from this following round is probably the biggest thing if you're FUT, though. They have an overdrive.
The best. Let's go.
The threat that their own ultimates could create proactivity. But from the setup, you can see it is anything but the case.
Yeah, that last round, right, they tried to go for the bridge crunch, even though it was a slow one. Mates didn't see it. This would have been the round to call it, unfortunately. Contact being taken towards drop.
And because it is a little telegraph, this disc control isn't half too bad. The runway put out for Click. Jumping down into danger, into Mr. Fallen. Feet planted on the A site with the rest of FUT following suit. Kada, the last player left, the orb by his side. His death shall confirm the orbital strike regardless. So perhaps better just not to give away the position for now. It's an empty utility belt from the most vanilla of vanilla agents. You literally just got the gun in your hand to try and get something done here.
Where do you even go realistically? I mean, at this point in time, with 4 players towards that A side, I mean, 3 looking over the spike alone.
You've got to be thinking to the future. And for a player like Kada as well, who joined from Stage 2 last year, he's had a little bit more time to mesh with this project as it's been built. From the ground up, from the coach slot. We mentioned it a little bit before, but Gentlemates have invested a lot into their coaching staff, trialing the right people. Back so far as August, September last year, I think around at the time of Ascension is when they were starting to look picking up pieces, because really this is almost like the best of the rest in terms of challenges and the players that they've been able to hold on to. And Kada, of course, has his own personal reasons. Sorry.
I mean, that's the thing, right? You look at the investment for Gentlemates as a whole. Like JT, Gokid,
Mokwanka.
I don't think my accent is maybe the
honestly,
best.
I'm glad that you left that one to me, but the point still stands.
Yeah, like there is so much there, and this like ties into the point that we were talking about earlier in terms of Ante and stuff like that, how it was looking good against Liquid, and now coming in against FUT. This is the map to Ante.
A Parisian homecoming at the end of the tunnel, but Gentlemates taking this one game at a time. FUT standing in front of them and starting to respond with the right ideas. 4 ultimates at their disposal. First of which the overdrive, and as we finally see that bridge play come in, it is greeted with emptiness, silence.
Like this though, at the same time, every single time, FUT putting the same Cypher utility there. So it seems as if maybe there had been a lot towards that side of the map. There has not been.
Yeah. This reclear from Underpass is gnarly to try and get through though. When you don't have that extra presence to just support it a little bit, and you'd have to be crazy or nuts yesterday to go across that zip line without any extra info.
Still, it's close by. He's potentially walking into a trap. You can see Cracks looking to try and perhaps tee up one of the players. It doesn't come through at the same time though. The utility has, and it looks as if almost a guaranteed kill. Zipan gets out with 30 points of health.
Walks out of the fire, smouldering his shirt, giving off smoke but still alive. Mates now realizing that there may be a gap elsewhere, and this stack of FUT players that sits on B has made concessions elsewhere, so to A they go later in the round this time.
Now using their orbital strike, you've got to think as well, once FUT if we get in towards post, well, there's always a chance there's a retake cam. It's not going to be needed at the moment though, because the spike's still not committed. Ultimate certainly is. It's going to be a brawl all the way to the end, and now it's just the remaining player of Cracks, who's looked so good so far and has to step up once again.
The fragment comes in, but it's a moment too late. Kamik trying to escape goes down.
Oh, 1v1.
It's Cracks, you feel like, who's in control right now. He's large and in charge. Zipan going down before the salvos could save him. Nothing to fall back upon. It's FUT in front.
It's a player as well, when we look towards Cracks in the performance, who we've talked about as being this utility player, the system player, the one who's always setting people up. And this series so far, absolutely lights out. The value that the kills he keeps getting is almost round winners.
FUT's longest serving player taking this game into his own hands.
I don't know.
You can see what it means to the rest of them as well. Resurrected in this second map so far. And you already mentioned it here a little bit. He really struggled, I think, in the previous series in terms of those attack halves especially. So on the defense, it's a positive start. We'll have to keep our finger on the pulse as far as that goes. But I think the big thing for me as well is, are you getting the trade value out of him? And when Cracks is playing well, all of FUT are playing well. That seems to be the case because he's so involved with the pack, with how they set up, whether it's the retake or anything else. 11-4 right now, and still with that null command available. Gentlemates, no ults, but you are close to Zipan's Armageddon, and that has to be factored into the plans here.
It does. As well, though, like coming out that last round, it has to be, like, we speak the word frustrating, right? But like, how is that conveyed in terms of, like, why is that? On top of that, you look at like the ultimates used, Orbital Strike. Sure, you're using like the Neuro Theft and the Overdrive. Maybe not massive ultimates, the last two, but you're talking in terms of this is still pieces that you would like to have in the back pocket for later rounds, and if you use it on a round loss, the value hasn't been gained.
Gentlemates have to make the most of what it is they've got here. Just the rifle on click, the Phantom.
Cage trigger.
Serving up sprays as he slides by. Flash to just be the catalyst to that initially. It's a combination of util and tower, which Cracks has sidestepped quite nicely, and with the null command expended, there'll be no more of that.
There's ultimates, not ultimates, utility to come back from. Mr. Fallen finding many, and Cracks looking to try and take things on his own pace. And on top of that, that's weapons to pick up.
Cracks is just going to watch life fade away from him right now as Kada, the player, to give the all clear. Nowhere to go. Has to fight forwards here. Mr. Fallen in the face of oppression, finding his third of the round, and it falls down to Atta Captain at the end to close it out for FUT. Damn near close from Gentlemates. They did invest that ult that they had though.
That's what we were speaking about, getting value from ultimates. I understand why they've invested it right. Gentlemates fancy themselves. It's lovely stuff all in, but again, we're speaking about value. You're now at 5-3. Dude, your economy not looking fantastic, and you're investing these ultimates as well.
That's crazy from Mr. Fallen.
Yeah.
Running into danger as the explosions go off behind him. It's like something out of a Bond movie.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Exactly. And to start this one off, yeah, right. I mean, you're saying that I'm young. What's that say about you? Jeez. Mates have got the Zimmer frame out in this round. They're taking a slow approach.
I respect it.
One leisurely stroll.
One off the Rolling Thunder as well. That's exactly what they're going looking for.
Go, go, go.
It's funny we mentioned age for just a moment. Mini is the youngest IGL in the league, up against one of the veterans in Mr. Fallen, so
Fully smoked.
it's an attack side which has struggled so far. Mid-round always been something highlighted that needed improvements, and in terms of this one, they're stricken for options, trying to split the A site, and they'll use the Rolling Thunder to do it.
Still to get out. Kada first in. Still Zeus not spoken about, not even found, and he's going to activate at the right time. Looking to get more! A player who constantly turns up where he's needed. That's 4 on the round, and setting FUT up almost for a flawless.
Zeus one off the ace, and yet again he has managed to capture lightning in a bottle. He'll try to close it out here with all 5, and Zeus has done exactly that.
Absolutely lights out. A player who is just mechanically superior to almost everyone in this league. Name a player better than him when it's their day. I genuinely don't think you can.
Durka I'm sorry, you asked.
Oh, mate, come on, man. Like, let me have my moment.
I know exactly what you're saying, and he has been the difference here.
Yeah, there is always Derka.
That is a duel that I would love to see, but it's one that we have to be considering later down the road. As we said, you're taking it one step at a time for both of these teams, FUT building into yet another year where their campaign can only be considered a success if they make international stages, make deep runs. And Zeus, certainly a key component of that right now. It's on the other hand, reduced to a pick and mix of weapons here, but that seems to be enough right now to give them the green light to the A site, but no plant as this molly is so well timed.
Yeah, it'll be frustrating because now those smokes are getting closer and closer to fading. At the same time, you're thinking about the post plant. What utility do you have? You still have the Brim and Sindri, and on top of that, Zipan, the Teho, his salvos as well.
Don't forget that orbital strike. Look, we can list them off as much as we like. It's the gunfights that have got to start going their way if they want. Click, using and abusing the smoke around the side with the stinger. 2 kills picked up. Is the defuse still coming in? Yeah, it is. That's been completely overlooked. It's another missed molly, in fact, that sold them short.
Yeah, last time they didn't pay for it, but this time round they certainly do. And that's a thrifty round, right? Where you are able to consolidate in main. On top of that, everything looks good.
And amongst all the chaos, it's just that slight oversight. I mean, we didn't see on the player POV the bar across the top, but the diffuse was being worked on the whole time. The observer's catching it in the picture-in-picture. It's just like... Yeah, the molly comes in and... Oh, it was body blocked! I was body blocked!
Yeah.
By Yetu, that's so smartly played.
But it's not only that, though. You've got to be thinking about the bodies that are on the line, right? I mean, maybe I'm being a bit too harsh there.
Sure. The rifle round is the real barometer of where Gentlemate's attack side currently stands between a FUT that have put their foot down. No, you know, the pun was intended, but you get the point. This is what we expect from them. You've got to be setting teams like Gentlemate straight if you want to be as dominant as we expect.
Expansive wordplay.
Thank you.
No bother.
I'm here all day.
Spike dropped.
See if Gentlemates can cut down the working hours and...
Yeah, at the same time though, you're seeing like a lineup here in terms of like the breach util, well, the breach done towards a tower, I'd imagine, plus the salvos. Just trying to fake out towards the B site, maybe catch a rotate over. While that happens though, there's still going to be the Cypher here and the utility, so there's going to be a clear bit of information that FUT will be able to rotate off of.
Yeah, you can see Mr. Fallen was holding the Rolling Thunder, so for FUT right now, the brunt of the setup is catered towards the B side of the map. He'll shuffle the goalpost a little bit as the defense mutates. That's a captain that's able to find the first of the kills. Plenty of ultimates invested into this round. It could be huge in terms of the ramifications because Gentlemates, as you say, are stricken for options now. The utility belt is empty and so are the opportunities. The time bank is gone, and at the beck and call of the hourglass, the final grains of sand have hit the bottom. It's done. That's going to be a third. And look, the silver lining is you keep 4 rifles for what will be another rifle round. It's a far from best case scenario, though.
For me as well, like I'm using this word frustrating a lot, right? And so far it's been a very frustrating attack half, right? Like Gentlemates are just not getting what they want to do. FUT are doing very well to disrupt the game plan and cost Gentlemates rounds. But the fact that like Gentlemates though leave that so late, after like you can see them trying to mess around with utility and fake out towards the B side instead of going like, do you know what, let's just go and hit towards it. I mean, the Cypher of Yetiji does so well to just gain the information and get FUT to rotate in quickly.
Strength of Gentlemate's composition does come through those combos, the quick attack speed, as you said before. He's not making the most of it. It's Yetu that they've got to try and get past now.
Oh, no way, Yetiji, he's not able to get one. A captain can't double up, but mates take the clear advantage. That's the big thing. You're looking towards the post plan for main.
Look at Susie, he walked out rafters, and as you mentioned, there is a backstab prepared, and it is Mini that will sink the penultimate blow. One player left, and as good as Zeus has been, as he has played to his strengths well above his player number. It's not enough this time.
It's certainly not enough, but when we have to look towards the next half, what do Gentle Mates have to put forward on the defence? We've seen what they're good at, and we'll see how those combos work out. We'll find that out on the next half.
Now FUT onto the attacker's side to close out their map pick of Fracture. The same map which they banned in the previous series, but we've seen them before go back and forth on these ideas. They come in with a 10% win rate, but, and the big but, is both of those previous wins were 13-6 in their favor. So it was little of the attack side that we got to see.
Listen, I am excited to see, though, what the ideas are, the expansive ideas, because we've not seen that. At the same time, though, Gentle Mates, they have the tail, they have the breach, they have this oppressive utility that FUT might find stunting towards what they want to do on this attack.
And this is where I then look back towards Cracks as well, to just pick up that thread from earlier in terms of his attack side performances. 5 and 23 on the halves that we saw against Koi. His big value will simply come from being traded amongst this group of players, and you're already seeing it right now. 5 queued up in A main, out the gates they go. Into Sand, it starts to swallow them whole. There's Zipan, Mr. Fallen dropping down, and you look to Zeus once again for answers.
To try and find something here, something to bring numbers even, but he can't get it cleanly. And there's so many players to try and fight against. Yetishi, I mean, he had an opportunity, but can't capitalise.
Counter stun from Click was huge, and now Gentle Mates are right back in this. Another pistol where they look like favourites. Spike down and solo fight. A recipe for disaster as Zipan continues onwards. Only at a captain left, and while he has the molly, it's going to land. That's a start.
That is a start, but still plenty of players to try and get rid of. It's only bought him some time. How long can he really last here? It doesn't look like long at all, as Kamek looks to finish out the round. And again, we've said it before, another Gentle Mates pistol.
And a very strong A retake as well.
Yes.
I like the ideas from FUT to try and push that envelope a little bit, get out from Sand towards Spawn. I mean, we saw Gentle Mates do it absolutely tons, but the counter stun from Click. Really nice use of the relay bolt. And the retake simplistic enough in the end.
Keep it up, boys. Let's go!
There you go, keep it up. I mean, it seems simple in theory, but in practice it'll be completely different once we get FUT on towards the rifle rounds. As for now, Eco, what's their objectives for this round? We know there's 4 orbs, etc., and plenty of map to try and take.
First off, those goes on to Kada, but FUT can add one back.
I like this from Mates, being proactive, taking orbs away from FUT, taking away objectives. At the same time, though, we're talking in theory. Again, that word comes up, and practice, it's just going to be a sight hit.
One positive is that Gentle Mates do have the main space. You talk about push and pull, you need some solid ground to stand upon, and actually this plant looks as if it's going to come all the way in. No Click, snatching away at it at the final second. Kamek right there by his side, but it settles for a 2-on-2, and that doesn't seem to be good enough right now, as Zeus has a Bulldog in his hands. It's a real problem, which Kada shuts down, and Atta follows up on. Pace safeguard, Thrifty, and number 9 for FUT.
Yeah, that's another frustrating round, which Gentlemates have let slip. I mean, we saw it on Icebox, they started well, let it go, and that was on the defence as well. I understand what they're trying to do, but they're just giving too many fights to a team that will very happily take them.
Just as I was saying before, vibes so important. You can see an all-time high on FUT as they find a round they would not have been expected to win. The last on the list of objectives, the one you don't expect to hit, is of course winning the round where you come in with all classics. But a big bonus for them. For Gentlemates, just as Kamek put it, one game at a time, one round at a time. This one's starting on a sour note as Zipan falls solo in A main.
Looking probably at double digits for FUT, especially since they have so much time, we can tell, to get that spike down.
Gentlemates gambling on this one with Mini's rifle and set up towards B. They have managed to invest a few more grey shirts towards the A side of the map for now, but with the site given over, FUT in prime position to convert yet another round. And well, Mini should just be saving. You're looking to the 3 players in close proximity that have created that perimeter to just see what can be done, honestly, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the test dummy in the car.
Yeah, I think as well though, like these last couple of remaining mates players are semi-close, have made decent progress towards the ultimates. So if they go, it's another ulti orb towards them. At the same time though, that is 2 towards Atta Captain.
Now he has the orbital strike available to use, and that is something which you'll be heavily fixated on if you're FUT or even Gentlemates, to be honest, because in terms of this pre-round call, Mini's had so much time to set that up now. One of his strengths as a leader, we said before, is these defensive setups and how he responds to what it is that the other team is doing. FUT so capable in their own right, though, and these pacier takes, I think, have looked good for them. They're one of those teams that sort of, they either execute in the first 30 seconds or the final 30. There's really no in-between in terms of how they open up.
And we always talk about like explosiveness, right? How quickly they can pull the trigger, send it in. And when you look towards what like the Brimstone brings to that, if they can get the spike down, in fact, they have the orbital strike as well.
Yeah, this is looking like a quick play with the Molly lineup. That should land tower. And I believe Mr. Fallen should be grouping up for an aftershock here as well. So as it drops in, yeah, it's the orbital strike actually, and that gives you even further coverage towards the site. There is one pocket where a player could be caught. That's Mini. He got the cage off beforehand. That'll save him an extra second. And with Kada supporting, the rest of Gentlemates arriving, FUT gonna give this a second go.
Yeah, they're gonna come back and they know about Mini's position, and Mini playing it so well, knows that players need to peek him. But again, this KO gets us another kill. It's like dinner on a plate. Kamek able to get that trade out.
See if they can finish the dinner, because otherwise it's going to be falling on the floor. Atta, one more kill, side of the smoke is Kamek peeking through and finding the final kill in the cleanup mission. The mop comes out, and so they sweep the floor for a 6th.
Yeah. FUT's dinner on the ground, but Gentlemates have the 5-second rule, so it's all right.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to be anywhere near that. This flash was immense. Brilliant utility.
Do you know what's mental as well? This is FUT without the KO buffs, right? What's it going to be like?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think the thing is as well, the buff that KO gets is more of increasing the skill floor rather than massively raising the ceiling. So in terms of the implications in pro play, I think we'll have to see. To other agents as well.
I mean, my theory on KO is it's never the player's problem. It's the fact that everyone keeps peeking into the flashes, you know?
I guess so. It's one way of looking at it. Peek or be peeked. Live by it, die by it. Zeus in this round has a scorched earth policy. Light investment of the Outlaw. Trying to go up against what is 4 players with light shields. 3 players, sorry. But
I was counting.
Yeah, never do maths live on broadcast. The fact of the matter is Mini has heavy shields, he's on the site, and so are the rest of Gentlemates. They are swiftly arriving.
Yeah, there's traps to play off of. Unfortunately, there's many players to try and play against. Kada taking the time and does so well.
What?
managed to go. It's like ships in the night. At the same time, that spike not committed, and Kamek trying to keep a bad chaos. Zipan finishing it out. Gentle mates, they're trying to keep this close and doing well in it.
You know what they say about ships in the night? You're always waiting for the iceberg, and that's Zipan. Comes crashing back into this retake. This was brilliant work from Kada to just shut down that initial push, keep Zeus on a leash. If you allow him to get effective in these rounds, once he builds up confidence, there is little to stop him. To another purchase for both teams. It's Gentlemates with the powerful ult, but you're only one off a null command and a rolling thunder if you are FUT. And so far, they've been given access to those orbs.
Yeah, we've not really been seeing Gentlemates play this defense on the front foot at the same time, though.
Drone's just giving him a tap on the head.
Yeah, Click just being active, taking that main. You can see FUT pinging it out, thinking about coming back in.
Such a difficult position to play as well. You get a late contact. You kind of have to just give it a bit of the mental timing and call the play in at a certain point before you get cleared deep. So utility invested, but that will regenerate later into the round. It's going to be useful fairly soon because FUT are preparing the execute towards B now.
They are, and the kill traps have been changed. At the same time, though, Gentlemates, they're trying to play this on the front foot. Zex just went by. Kada and Mini combine. One back in the conversation, make that two. It's all even. Advantage now confirmed by FUT.
It's only one player as things stand. Click still with a full belt can make things difficult here. Keep himself mobile, play in Zipan, but even then, if he goes down, you're still asking for that extra player to find a kill, something back. This post plant is so deep, Zipan's got to go searching and stick his nose in there to try and find something. And with that, Atta Captain in position for this open plant, which now finds a deadly use.
Gotta go.
It's quite thinking about saving here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's respectable considering the economy is sitting around for Gentlemates. Not a lot. Probably looking at Mini and Kada, maybe on a Bulldog, which we've seen a few rounds, by the way, on this defense.
Yeah, look, there's a possibility for a buy here. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. The big thing for me is the fact that FUT walk away with that round with the investment of sort of minimal ultimates, to be honest. So you've still got the null command, you've still got the orbital strike. I really like the proactivity from Gentlemates. As we said before, you need to be fighting for some space when the execute comes in. And Kada's done a brilliant job of that. But it's Atta finding 2 kills back, which is then, you know, the straw that breaks the camel's back.
100%. Well, we are starting to head towards the crunch time, right? The end of the map. And it's only Gentlemates that have actually been using their timeouts so far, which shows you the game plan for FUT. We understand has been going well because they're on 11. They've not been panicking, right? I mean, the second half has been going either way.
And from FUT's perspective too, if there was anything you wanted to improve on from that placement in Shanghai, 5th, 6th, the highest which we've seen from them internationally, it was perhaps that slight gap in terms of micro points and the depth of the strategy, right? And I think at this point in time, building up a solid map pool is a very difficult task, as we know there are changes up ahead as well. But if Fracture is a map which they can, you know, lock down here, make it 3-0, the record since kickoff, you're feeling very comfortable moving forwards. And for Gentlemates, still trying to figure out what their strengths are with this change in terms of, you know, Kamek coming in. Some of his best roles do have slight overlap with Zipan, but at the same time, he's then gravitated towards this Teho and found new life for himself. So it's all a balancing act, really. And well, coming into this one, that's exactly the case in terms of money. Split down the middle, a little bit of everything. Game plan wise, they want to fight off of the B contact at the cam.
I'm out of here.
Like with a rifle, horrible strike as well. The trap seems to be going well. It's been triggered, but there's capitalization's just not there at all. I mean, Yetaji's tried to escape in towards the backlines, but Kamek patrolling that, the Sheriff towards the defender's spawn, and his forced FUT towards the A side, where Zipan stands alone.
Playing this very defensively as well. Top site, off angle, where he sets up. That one kill back towards Arcade was everything, but even the rotation can't come quickly enough.
Needs one, maybe even two, but needs to at least get something concrete to work with, and does. It's a 2 versus 2 coming into, if we can get to it, post.
Well, it's a downed KO player though, so it doesn't count for all too much. In the meantime, Kamek able to backfill the space. I don't think FUT are expecting this at all.
I mean, at the same time, Atta Captain's gone searching, so Krax is all alone. Spike in the back pocket. 2 big 1 versus 1s here.
First of them heading towards spawn, low HP, both players. Kamek overlooked, and now the spike planted to his position. Atta Captain has the ultimate and a decision to make. Can he call Kamek's bluff? And can Kamek hold his nerve with the ult in his face? It's 4 instead from Gentlemate's new frontman, firing on all cylinders. The breach bites back for an 8th.
I mean, FUT just assumed that both players would be playing together. Kamek does so well to continue taking the space away from FUT, coming in from behind. And it's around similar to what we actually saw from Liquid and BBL in terms of both players went for 1 versus 1s.
Yes.
And it's the attack that lose out. Frustrating, you can see on the faces of the players. And think now, 11-8, things getting wobbly.
Just a little seesawing in terms of the rounds picked up by both teams. If that's anything to go by, this should be a shoo-in for FUT, but we know, of course, it's not the case. Mini left to a stinger. That should suffice at close range. It's Zeus running down the line in towards spawn, not getting out with any more than just the one. It's a complete fake, and mates have fallen for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, and it's the Teho as well that's lost, right, that utility to clear certain spots out. And as the players come through, it's an even trade, down to 2 versus 2. Kraxis has to commit to the spike.
Second pulse of the neural theft is huge as well, because now they know of the proactivity, and Yetajay's caught in transition. Another 2v2, which is looking like FUT are poised to lose. As much as I said micro was an issue before and that trading maybe had improved, it's isolation after isolation which lends Gentlemates a lifeline back into this map.
A massive lifeline, and I'm glad you used that word, Hazza, because you look towards the ultimate economy moving forward. Rolling Thunder. I mean, the Armageddon's one off.
Landed on the roof.
Disaster stuff.
It was a nice idea from the strat book for FUT, and you can see obviously they've been working on this map to go ahead and bring it out after having not shown it for a while, but frustration on one side, elation the other.
100%. Looking towards this though, barrier drop coming in, a lot of players lined up towards that A side, and you've got to be thinking they're moving in towards the Cypher setup as well.
It's the stingers though, man. And that's the one thing that I'm ever so slightly worried about.
Yeah, I get that, but you've got a Rolling Thunder that when it comes in will stop that fast fire rate.
See, I mean, Zeus playing parallel to it. It's the stun that goes sand. Mini playing from the site, suppressed, the trap's down, but Kamek still doing his job, supporting as best his efforts he possibly can. His A is under lock and key.
Trying to like play around him as well, the defensive smokes, it gives something in which Yetajay could work with, especially with the weaponry that's in hand.
Click already in behind as well, so FUT are boxed in. Going silent on the round. Kada has even joined up with him. Nowhere to go. Time getting low.
Still plenty to work with, you could rotate if you wanted to.
Just see Krax's knife has come back up, so if you wanted any tool to get in, you think about using it or just go dry. That's only ever going to end one way. Mr. Fallen taken down, and Gentlemates now on double digits.
Only the Rolling Thunder needed as well. Half by, you got FUT coming back in with the rifles, etc. But the big thing, they've kept the Armageddon. They've got the overdrive if needed to be aggressive. And FUT are miles off really big ultimates. I mean, maybe the null command for Krax, but at the same time, yeah, I totally understand this. We are going to get a FUT timeout.
You are playing insane. Keep it up. That's
And this is where warning signs start to arrive, because not only have Gentlemates found their way back into this one, 5 rounds from the last 6 played on the defenders' side, Maybe some of those theories about FUT's offense are starting to come to light with the lack of repetitions in an official environment. And we need them to just refocus a little bit because the value of their own coaching staff is huge. Of course, Gaius and Sway resigning a new contract last year, confirming that they will be attending this team once more, building upon their previous performances. And you see the relationship between them and Mr. Fall and the IGL. Often it's a lot of the ideas in the timeouts coming from the coaches directly relate to the IGL. It's then his job to, spread that amongst the team.
100%. And remember, Gentlemates win this map, Gentlemates win this series, and Gentlemates go top of the group. That's how close this is. There's only one round between the two.
Dude, let's not. The cursing of Gentlemates has been a little too much before, I have to say. From watching them in the stands back at Ascension a couple years ago, the Coliseum, their lucky charm perhaps, the possibility of back-to-back wins in VCT, something they are yet to achieve as an organization. Only a few rounds away, so long as FUT can't stand the test of which you feel they need to pass if they are to be a contender for Toronto.
Silence across the map. I mean, Gentlemates are waiting for something to trigger any trap whatsoever.
And it was very loose contact from Click, just playing this one solo, and he's the one player you think that would maybe give it a go, but even then they back up and play full retake with this Annihilation, but FUT know it.
Yeah, they do, and they need to be thinking about the contingencies after this post goes down.
Spike plant in, that's the cue. Stun towards tower, Zeus should be dead, trying to run out into a safe spot, and he's actually gotten away with it. Let off the hook. Gentlemates back into the retake, but they still feel confident that they can haul this over the line. Yetajay back in his own stocks. One back in the way of FUT for now.
I mean, right now, though, FUT don't really have much utility in post.
But one thing they do have is Yetajay in tower. Not overlooked, he'll get cleared in the end. Peek out dry, the shots won't land. Finally taken off the defuse by Fallen. The captain has to stand tall in this situation, but it's Kada instead who makes him a dead man. 11-all, that's the equalizer.
And it's massive. All 11 across the board. We will need maximum regulation to finish this out. And Gentlemates have been able to space their ultimates to perfection. This round, absolute carnage. One thing I want to know, how many times have we seen Kamek push out a smoke or something and get a pick completely untraded? He got traded there, sure enough, but I mean, FUT, a team who are so good at trading off one another and being good on the fundamentals, the micro of the game, and they let it go.
Player built on confidence.
After a timeout.
Certainly got the stones. Showing that here. Pistols is what you've got to get past to confirm map point on your opponent's pick if you're Gentlemates. And it's a brawl that's about to break out towards Arcade. The stun to start it off, and dropping in is Click. It's a rifle right at the hands of Zeus. A birthday gift from the birthday boy. But does it get any worse? It's a freeze for now.
See, looks as if Gentlemates want this, but maybe they want it a bit too much. Zipan though, absolutely spot on. Mini taking and getting rid of that null command. Got a Captain Stinger, just a little bit awry. Able to finish off the kill. A 2 versus 2s, Krax is able to call exactly where these last two remaining players are.
For Gentlemates, just when you think you see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's oncoming traffic, a deer in headlights. Taking those jewels on their own terms and conditions. They have Arcade, but that is about all right now. Time ticking down, trading places, knife out at a captain, cuts across him Mini. Only Mr. Fallen left, but this time he's got the ult.
He does have the ult, but he's got a Stinger. Long range won't be good for him.
It certainly won't. And Mini makes sure the captain will close for map point. That's 12 for the mates.
Hey, listen, I said it to you. This is prime time, mates. They're looking better and better. with that game yesterday, how Team Liquid and BBL went, the question was always coming into this one, are Gentlemates real contenders for this group? And it seems with this win, if they're able to convert it, it's 100% true. In fact, I would go as far to say favourites to actually go and win it.
Oh,
Hey, listen.
they're not a pretender this time. They're not just any team. They're mates.
Listen, guys, I'm looking for Jude.
Okay, all right. Final round of play inside regulation. Can FUT extend this one any further? To the strat book, they go for answers yet again. Cross-map knife, it's not seen it land. Finally, it drops into the lobby. But the dish control here from Mates is nasty. And with the setup that they have, the rotations coming through, they've been so quick to react to this. Such a reactive defense.
Remember, that Rolling Thunder still in FUT's pockets if they need to use it.
It's 2 kills back. Without it, not necessary at all. Surplus to requirements. So Strike now missing from the play. 2 versus 4 retake for Gentlemates to make their dreams come true in this series.
Been able to do it before. I mean, this time it's going to be far too much to ask. An overtime is required between these two to even push it towards a third map. If Gentlemates can finish it out here.
So we're made to wait by Gentlemates as FUT fighting Sand. Zeus with 3 kills again. It just feels like they're so reliant on his firepower to get through these attacking rounds, finishing with only 4 of them. And now it's back to Gentlemates to try and find a response. I think honestly, it feels like one of those overtimes where whoever wins the attack round, you're then favoring to go ahead and win OT. And for Gentlemates, it's a tough position to start this one in.
100%. There's things to work with, a plan to be made, and it seemed as if Gentlemates, as they got towards the latter stages of their attack, started to look a little bit better, an idea for how FUT wanted to set up, whereas on the opposite side, it felt as if his FUT went on longer. They started to fall apart a little bit.
Yetajay recalling the trap there as he places a cage to get it in. It's spammed out by Gentlemates. That Teho utility right at the start just to break out any of the Cypher setup. Wipe the slate clean as they slowed this down yet again. But as we know, Cairo, these rounds for Mates on the attack, they've been struggling to find those openers.
Yes, that's very true. But it looks as if, right now, Gentlemates, their plan to get that Armageddon online. Already the first orb towards Zipan, now exploring towards A main. Been found out by the 0-point knife.
3 players in the radius of it. What's the reaction from FUT? Doesn't seem to be anything right now. They are pretty settled in terms of their approach, happy to just sit on the control that they currently have. And Mr. Fallen taking matters into his own hands, starting to clear towards Dish as well, confirming there's nothing topside, the body moving over, but B is where the execution's now prepared. With only 30 seconds left, this is the play that Gentlemates have to make.
Yep, Yetajay's off angle could
They're running
be
back.
massive. The players, oh, they've walked into the crosshairs. It seems to be a fake, but with time so low, Gentlemates could possibly cost themselves this round.
Little bit indecisive, but they finally locked it in.
Look where the
Aeswell
spike
goes,
is.
but Kamek is back of the pack as you highlight. And so if Atta Captain can pluck him away from the rest of the play, then maybe there's a chance that they can shut down this spike plant. It won't happen, and it's Click again with a second to spare.
Mr. Fallen's coming in late from drop, will able to cut off any rotates back from Click, but instead played in by Kamek, although identifies Mr. Fallen's position and gets the advantage.
And with him now posted up in Dish, there's an extra line of sight, a double up in fact.
This is going to be really hard for FUT to try and get through. Molly's everything for them to use right now, but no more utility. Rifles have to come out tops. Gentlemates in prime position to convert this round, and they'll do it. You said, Hazza, the team to win the attacking round will be in prime position to win out this map. That's exactly what Gentlemates just done.
Feel as if, despite how chaotic the round transpired, Gentlemates are onto a winner by picking up that one. For how dominant the defense was, they drop before the final hurdle. And now another test for them to try and pass.
Yeah. Looks as if FUT may be feeling it, knowing exactly the position they're in. But they're good enough. We've seen it before. You look towards this though, Gentlemates actually being aggressive towards the Dish side. players there to try and find towards the other side at Arcade.
Yeah. Neon and Zeus grouping up towards Arcade. I mean, making that change over from the Raze to the Neon. The defense improved, the attack got worse. Seeing it here, it's the round which they need to rely upon. Zeus already in tower, right behind Mini. He's got to take the duel to the doorstep of FUT. Are they ready for him? Feels like it. Yettajay already landing that first kill still. Mini holding the line, just waiting, wondering when will they peak? And as they arrive, it's the spike that falls. He needs more but can't get it, and so Mate's behind by one.
Zepan, he's done so well, but now it's up to Kamek. He has to try and get something to work with. A headshot, but it's a phantom tax that ends up costing him it. This is getting far too close, man.
It feels so cruel. As the POV is locked to Mini, he's just waiting for the push to come through, but FUT expected that. It's the adaptation. How many times have we seen this reaction from Gentlemates when the B push comes in from Arcade side, that then the follow-up is the protocol to take the main space. They handled it brilliantly, and no mistakes made in the 2-on-2.
I mean, we've seen Mini play in this position so many times with the same cage setup. I would like to see something maybe different on the next round, but focus here.
Yettajay peering through the looking glass, operator in hand, and Kada can almost sense it. The jump strafe for the second time of asking, wide swing and well dealt with. The antidote on the attack side, and Mate, well, they seem to have found it, because this is looking like follow-up success.
Certainly looks like it. Spike can go down pretty easily. Thought for a minute, with Zeus taking the solo space in towards A main, he might go for a flank, try and put the main players under pressure. Not going to happen. Mate's in post.
Usually you'd be moving into a pretty strong post plant here with the breach and brim towards Arcade, but without a molly or an aftershock, it's gunfights that they're going to have to take, and Kamek has one flash to try and get them back in. But that's about all for now.
Now you've also got tail utility to work with as well. On towards the spike they go. Kamek gets one. Mr. Fallen and Zeus trying to be massive here, but off of the spike they go. Forced off, and Mr. Fallen has to win up against 3. Well, it seems as if what you tried to prophesize has not come true.
Yeah, well, how many times has that happened before?
Hey, listen, mate, you love a caster's curse.
Of course, but hey, it's all entertainment at the end of the day. With the game being played in front of us, it was a really nice setup from Gentlemates, as you highlighted. The salvos were there.
Look at me. Oh, I love you, bro. Keep up.
And between the two, it could be quite the celebration this weekend. Kada's got his birthday coming up on Saturday, so this would be one way to cap it off. And to make sure they just take a touch before they finish off the job, it is a timeout in round number 28, just before it.
That's the thing, though. Right. But they've done it once, can they do it again? I mean, Gentlemates have already answered that, that question. What are they going to do different on this defence? Last time they went through Dish, started to explore towards that top side of the map, seeing if they could try and catch someone off guard, and they were a couple of seconds too late on that.
Yeah, I think honestly, again, it comes down to a lot of these retakes where Gentlemates have been able to ping consistent success on the defender's side, playing off of one another, starting to build up that team chemistry that you want to see from a team that has their goals laid out before them at the end of the year. I mean, any extra championship points that you can take during the regular season are a massive boost for the ultimate goal of qualifying as a top 4 team. But even playoff stages is something we want to be accrediting to them early, where Apex on the other side look to have struggled so far with their campaign. It's the task left to them, a difficult one at that, but certainly made the most of it so far. 3rd map point for Gentlemates now.
Dish was explored last time. This time round, they've placed a Cypher trap to gain information. FUT looking to take this pretty straightforward. Going, taking the A site. Zepan and Kamek are the only players there.
And Zipan's position is so struggled here again as the solo site anchor on the Teho. I mean, your work is cut out for you. FUT again exploding onto the scene. Through sand they go. Click will be telegraphed as soon as he breaks the trap. And with main space secured at the very least, they've got something from which to work. And FUT want to take that fight to them.
Yeah, I don't know if they only think it's just in Neon, but there's more than that. Mini's here as well! Oh! even more than that. And now it's up to Kada, the birthday boy on Saturday. Can he try and get a present to take home early?
Molly.
I have to see. Opening one up a little early. Yetu, tick of fire damage. I don't know if Kada would have heard that, but he's certainly looking for the clear here. Time ticking away, burning the wick at both ends. The first of those players is found, but now Kada needs to move on to the spike and get it halved. Hold his nerve in the face of a captain. But with his face check, he finds 14, and so OT goes on.
Round and round and round we go. The 2-round shootout does not stop between these two. FUT is fighting for survival. And as you said, it's been 3 attempts at winning out this map right now by Gentlemates. They've had 3 chances at being the team to win out.
And with FUT, the experience they bring, a core of 3 players from 3 years built upon, with new additions of Yetu and Zeus from year to year, one player change made to improve. These are character building rounds and maps that you will see from them, and the same for Mates, because if they can't close here, then all of a sudden there is serious concern. Moving into our decider, already Zipan chased away from spawn to the A site they go. Little success here so far for Mates, and it is heavily telegraphed.
And the fact that they've found Mini as well. This is something that Gentlemates have tried to do a few times, find their way in towards spawn, but instead though, they're going to fight through sand. Feeling the pressure a little bit.
Yetu's still the solo player on site, and Click trying to isolate that with the neon wall.
Oh, Ghost trades even. Kamek finds the chance to make it back towards an even playing field right now.
Backing all the way up, Fallen finally gives away his location, but the spike can go in, and Kada has managed to jump up to Dish as well. This is an acute reposition, and with the Rolling Thunder in, it's his chance. Maybe to find something off the back of it, but no, falls on deaf ears.
No more utility right now for Gentlemates either.
It is just a fragment on cracks, and that's all.
Rifles, that's what it comes down to. Winning out these fights. Can Gentlemates make it a 4th map point potentially? Stun coming back online for Kamek, but Kada, he's been burned. It's now just down to Kamek to try and clutch a shot! A Red Bull clutch for Kamek! And 15 for Mate. That is a 4th map point for Gentlemates now.
And the Kamek revenge tour is rampant. What a clutch from him. It came right down to the wire, as so many of these rounds have done. But still he sees it through. And so with that, a 6th attack round found in OT, and another opportunity for Mates to finish what they started.
I mean, Kamek was on Team Liquid that was able to beat FUT in that playoff run. That's the other thing to think about. A thorn in the pride of Turkey's side.
Continually coming back to haunt them.
There.
Round on round. The setup this time, fairly similar, but there's way more support for Zipan towards main. You've got Click ready to go as soon as the drone comes in, and that's the play.
Like his knows there's many players there. The stun is so good. So is the relay ball. And so is Zeus. That's a double up. Very quickly turning this on its head. And Yetaji's there to get another. It's just all individuals right now. And it's completely collapsed. FUT immediately respond to what Gentlemates got in that last round.
Zeus slamming the rewind button, putting it in reverse and sliding back for the 2nd kill in main. And as Mini makes his way through enemy lines, FUT have this site well guarded. I mean, I feel as if the 2 halves that we've just watched of defensive play have completely gone out of the window. FUT have found something which works for them. These A splits have looked so nasty, as it's an in-zone flawless this time, and one of the best efforts we've seen from them so far in OT.
I know, I mean, the fact that we just keep going back and forth consistently. There's another thing to think about. We still have timeouts. Some are refresh coming in towards overtime. FUT going to use theirs.
The velocity at which Zeus attacks these chokes at breakneck speed do require a slight intermission, a break in play, and another 60 seconds just to set things straight.
I think both teams will be happy for this right now. Gentlemates And for just to talk things over, the defence just not going well at all. And for me as well, Gentlemates, they had to clutch up their attack round. As for FUT, they slam dunked it.
And I'm glad that you mentioned it too, because as I meant before, you know, FUT have been able to thread the needle on a lot of these A executes. Mates were mostly going B, whereas that one round, which you say was cut incredibly fine, was the A play. And now the mental game picks up a little bit. What are they going to go for in this first attack round? Because already they've seen multiple map points pass them by, as I'm sure our co-streamers will be keenly keeping track of them. Sue on site and Sleepy online.
I was waiting. Listen, man. Do you know something? You are the biggest, and I'm going to say that you are the biggest like serviceman I've met. You know what I mean?
Hey, look, man.
Shout outs for free. They're not even paying you, man.
No, I know. I'm paying them. Member of the SWAT club. I don't even know. But hey, look.
Hey.
Here's what it is. We go again. So this time, it is proactivity wagered by FUT, levied over the heads of mates, and so they'll make their move early. A site is where they go. The stun already invested, but there's still plenty to throw at this.
And look at the kill traps as well that's been set up by Yetiji.
Closer towards the site, into the fast lane. Atta will go. He finds his first, but it's quickly traded. They're falling one at a time. A slow crawl into a site held. Kamik returning in another overtime round, but it's Mini that must make it stick if they are to find themselves yet another from the offense.
Spike's gone cold. It's all on an island which Mini has to try and traverse. And with two players watching over, he'll try and open the door, create sound cues which FUT have to try and consider.
More than anything, it just forces them to drop back onto a deeper line. Mini back to the play. Two players creeping up from rafters. Timing is everything. Knife, he should know. Dropping off the rope and they're right behind him. Mini needs to turn his head or mates might just have found themselves dead on the attack.
30 seconds left.
But with the respect given from the Turkish team, the spike can go down. But it's that molly in the corner that you have to worry about.
He's tapped it. He's come right back up, repositioning.
Mini knows this is the place he's got to try and play from. 10
Time.
seconds and he'll spot it out yet again. Another tap from Mini! Another opportunity! But mates cannot convert their attack round this time. And so FUT, for the first in this series, have an opportunity to close and send us to the decider.
I mean, it's so typical, right? If we actually seen that, the first time that FUT can potentially win out this map, they'll go and do it. The fact that they're able to win their defense for the first time in this overtime is absolutely massive, and you know that the players know it.
You can feel it. The tension palpable between the two. And of course, the consequence of a FUT win here could be shattering for the mental of mates who have done so well to put themselves in good positions throughout. And the defense asked of yet again, of course. We did see a timeout before this last OT. So both teams will have talked over what was and wasn't working, and for both, the defense had been an issue. FUT have delivered on theirs. And now mates, it's another B hole that they've got to surmount to.
Just noted, again, Mini not playing for main. In fact, actually starting to head towards that way.
Backing up Kada from the boxes on site. Trap place, Yetiji, that's so cheeky. Mini getting one, but one won't be enough. He needs to find more, and more he will get. Kada played in, but he can't stand his ground. 2v1, cracks will fall. It's Zipan again with a double, and the defense shall stand.
Oh my god, man! They just can't settle. These two love brawling, and they're doing that so well. Every single time when we see these rounds go, it comes down to these brawls, these chaotic fights, and who comes out on top.
The trap was so cheeky from Yetiji as well to just snatch one back on the re-engage, but as you say, the battlefield bloodied, the canvas clotted, and it's Zipan once more to close out the round. That was the weakest of death slaps I think I've seen so far.
Respectable.
But you see the reasons why.
Frustrating.
And so reset yet again. 33 rounds played.
So much slower. taking their time. Gentlemates exploring certain parts of the map. Spike is in drop though. That's the one thing you've got to consider here as both players start to move to a more aggressive angle. FUT at the same time, they're starting to explore elsewhere, and there's 2 players here for Gentlemates.
2v2. Re-clear in the middle of the round. FUT looking for a fight. Mate's giving it to them, and it's Zeus with 2 kills. As always, striking yet again.
No way.
That's the numbers.
Zeus is still alive.
He's managed to keep himself cooped up in main for now. Split up from Fallen, but he can put 2 and 2 together. Kamek, the provider. Can he put up any more? No, Zeus has stopped it. And so it's Zipan. Now, with his chance to shine, how many times have mates got to look for a hero to win them around?
This is what it's starting to get to, right? Gentlemates looking for heroes.
Missiles away.
And, I mean, this is so out of the realms of possibility. There's no way that Zipan can win this one.
But want to be the villain against another of those Ascension teams that want to solidify that guest slot. Yetu snatching away another round. His setups on A have looked so good, yet Gentlemates are still bashing their heads against the wall here. Zeus gives them a second layer and takes the fight further forwards. It just solidifies what they'd already built on.
I mean, it was such a coin flip though. You know, such a coin flip with that 2v2 in towards main.
Oh my god!
You're really waiting to see how it goes, right? Zeus is always the player that you're going to hedge your bets on. And then the chaos on site, etc. Now, can FUT finally make good on this?
This marathon of a map, the sprints have already been heard.
Gentlemates have done this before, exploring towards Dish, but they never went any further.
No. And FUT have also set up for B multiple times, so this stab in the back could be blindsiding. But there is a trap in play, and that has to be the biggest issue right now. No real way to suppress. I mean, the drone, not in the right position. It's Zipan there. They've got to converge, and they do so effectively. Mini sidestep in the stun, back in for more fights, finding his second Kada again. This dynamic duo has done enough for the flank to come in.
Oh, Cracks able to finally capitalise, but Kada, the molly, finally letting loose. Now, those 2 remaining players need to try and get something back. Kada's just been seen trying to escape. And now that's why you're seeing Mr. Fallen look towards B main.
Yeah, he is on a solo mission though. Oh, Mr. Fallen! 1 man, all that's needed. FUT.
My ult's ready.
So close now to the finish line. Kamek, the one that separates them from success on the second map.
I mean, that's the thing though. Kamek has been so good so far. Time and time again, 34 kills so far. Can he get 2 more?
The longest map of EMEA 2025 so far, and it's going FUT's way at the end of the day. A heartbreaking way to crash out of the second one here. For all of the chances Gentlemates had, they just couldn't close it out.
Yeah, 100% has it, and we have 1 more map to go. We'll find out exactly who's going to win out this series after this quick break.